Hey there, welcome back. I wanted to take a minute to hop on today and talk a little bit more about social emotional learning and emotional intelligence before we start to really dive into the specific competencies of social emotional learning, which we will do starting with the next video. So then we'll really get into those competencies like kindness and coping skills, social problem solving, mindfulness, things like that. But I just wanted to make sure that we kind of set the groundwork for understanding social emotional learning and emotional intelligence and what really that is. So I wanted to share with you the framework that I use for emotional intelligence and what is emotional intelligence, what makes it up. So emotional intelligence is basically what we talked about in the last video, the understanding of ourselves and our emotions and how our emotions impact the people around us. And so the framework that I use is sort of made up of these 5 areas. So you may be familiar with different frameworks. There are lots of them out there for social emotional learning, emotional intelligence, but they're all very similar. There's a lot of overlap. This is just the one that I happen to use. And so these areas that kind of make up our EQ or our emotional intelligence are the ones that you see here on the screen. So self-awareness, self-regulation, motivation, empathy, and social skills. So these are the things that we are trying to build by teaching specific social emotional skills and competencies, lessons, having discussions with our kids or with our students. We're wanting them to build their self-awareness. So being aware of their own emotions, self-regulation, how do they manage and control those emotions in an appropriate manner? How do they show motivation in life through goal setting, through wanting certain things for themselves out of life, out of school, out of a career, whatever it is. Empathy, how do they show empathy and compassion for the people around them? What does that look like? And then those specific social skills that our kids need in order to communicate effectively. All of these things come together to make up our emotional intelligence. How emotionally intelligent are we? Some of the soft skills, you often hear that term being used in terms of careers and adults. So I just wanted to make sure we have that groundwork kind of laid before we dive into these 11 competencies, because I wanted to make sure that we understand that we're using lessons on kindness, we're using lessons on coping skills, we're using lessons on friendship to build these 5 areas that build up our emotional intelligence. So that's sort of where we're heading. So next time we will dive in. I think I said that last time, but it's really true this time. Next time we will dive in and we're going to start off with kindness. And I will be sharing some resources, some lesson ideas, if you're a teacher or a homeschooling parent, perhaps, some really great books that can be used to teach our kids, not teach them about kindness. We're all already doing that, but just to kind of use as a springboard for discussion. So hopefully you will join me back here next time. I will see you then.